Hi guys, in today's video I build a dome in Minecraft. This is probably one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do, and I personally didn't enjoy a single thing. This is why this specific video, well, one of the reasons why this video has been recorded and sped up so that you don't have to listen to me, because at certain points I just start mumbling and I just ran out of steam whilst recording to actually talk. I would also like to see if people prefer this video style or something similar. If you do, please let me know. I would like to have the feedback to be aware of what is working, what isn't working on the channel, how to improve things, what to make better, what to make worse. I personally think from actually doing this that while the editing does take longer to do, because there's more other things hidden away, like for example having little cuts, having more little cuts than usual, having certain things cut out, having my voice not recorded at the time and actually having to go back and rewatch what I'm doing and be able to record my voice over it. While it takes extra time, I feel that hopefully it should make it a higher quality video for you guys to watch and actually follow along. While you might not specifically be able to build this at the same time I'm building it because of the speed this video is going at, I will be giving other advice on what I'm doing and how I do it. So for this, the reference image I'm using has a golden dome towards the middle back, just above the arches and domes, the pillars we've made in a previous video. So in this one I decided to use a sphere making website. So I typed in on Google how to make a sphere in Minecraft, and the first website that came up will be linked down in the description. I need to remember to link it in the description because it's very important that you guys can follow what I've done. The size of the circle was, I believe, 26 by 26 by 20, so I doubled the 26, so it must be something like 50 or something like that. So it's not, as I say, a small circle, and in total it took me about 2 hours to build. As you can see, I am making sure that the circle is just the circle. There's no inside area, there's no outside area. Anytime I have to build a block off of the actual area I'm in, I simply delete it after I finish doing what I need to do. So in this bit, somebody started sending me messages, so I quickly just cut the video just to get across, just so we can actually get on. They liked the world. This map I really like. One of the big things I do like about this version of Minecraft is the fact that the maps are so large, because I've now got multiple different worlds worth of world on this specific map, and on the old versions I wouldn't have been able to do this. Like for example, this entire build here would have had to have been on a completely different map to other builds, and that would have just been really sad. And to be quite frank, the way that this build and the palace build are made, they are so large that on a normal sized map they both fill the entire area, and that's just for 2 builds, which part of me loves because of how big they are. That makes it really cool. Part of me hates because obviously it means that if I was to be building on a normal sized map or a small or anything like that, this would have been all I would have been able to have in the actual map. And I really just don't like the idea of having to deal with that. As you can see, the dome is starting to go up higher, obviously different levels. Each level probably took around about 5 to 10 minutes. As I say, what I did was the actual circle, I started from level 26 and worked up, so the total number of blocks high this is 26, and that 26 or 27 it was, I think, was right in the middle of where the actual sphere generated was, because I couldn't actually find just a specific dome generator. There's no such thing. So you have to basically create a sphere, know the dimensions you're after, and then go back through and build based upon what you've said to the system. The best thing I find is use an odd number and then go to the middle, so the exact center of the circle, and I use the actual 3D model first, and then when I'm actually building, I'll go into the 2D model just to make life a bit easier. With the palace that continues to be built, I have had some ideas with other things. So I've decided that while I absolutely love Star Wars, I am going to try and make ships that are based upon my own ideas. So they will be Star Wars themed, and I will still fully endeavour to build Star Wars themed builds and get them out, because I love Star Wars. You know, it's one of my biggest passions, one of the things I absolutely love and adore. And I think that having as many different tutorials for Star Wars things as possible out will be cool, because it means that you guys get the opportunity to build these things, if that is something you would like. I also have another idea for a city style build. Now, this map already technically has a city on it. However, what the problem is with that city is it's not planned out or thought out. That is the only problem I have with it, is the fact that it's not a planned out area. For example, with this area, with the palace and with the Mount Olympus, I'm planning out what I intend to do with it. So for example, I have left a massive space between them, and that idea is to have things such as different vehicles going through that space, whether that's some kind of land speeders, whether that's some kind of AT-80 style walkers, even down to things such as animals, you know, having a dragon style build, having a crate dragon maybe, or something like that, having these different creatures and vehicles travelling through my path. I could have some Star Wars vehicles included, but I would like to try and make this as not as possible, while still looking similar too. So my examples would be, I have that Imperial style ship in one of my older Star Wars maps. In this map I have several ships which look Star Wars themed, but really aren't, and I think I will be using a few of those, and one of them I think you might see within a couple of episodes is a blue ship which looks similar to a mix between an X-Wing and an ARC 170 Starfighter, as well as a Z-175 Headhunter. This is just because, as I say, I love Star Wars, but I would like to start branching out with my own ideas for different builds and different ships. Obviously, you know, using reference images, basing it on different builds, basing it on different designs possibly seen in Star Wars is absolutely fine, and I have no issue with it, but I would like to try and be a bit more unique. Another big thing I would like for this build that you see on screen now is to change the horse statue at the front to something more sinister, because at the minute I don't think it looks that great. It doesn't look like anything animalistic at all, and while it doesn't need to look like anything that is a real animal, I would like it to look a bit more organic and a bit more stylized for this, because at the minute it looks just a bit meh. One of the ways I could improve that would be to possibly make it into a dragon, or have it fit more into some sort of other role. I could even have it become a stylized piece of technology or something that people look up to and go, oh wow, that's cool. Other plans I have for this build will be to, I think the next episode will be filling in the actual bottom of the dome, so that there is actually a filled in section where you can see it's connected to the floor. As you can see here, I made a mistake with the dome. I think a big common theme I had whilst I was building this was I actually absolutely hated the way that the Bedrock version of Minecraft has a control system. So the Bedrock version of Minecraft's control system is just rubbish. It's slow, it's sloppy, it deletes blocks when you don't want it to delete blocks, it doesn't place blocks when you do want to place blocks. I think you can see me here. I think this is a bit where I was complaining about it actually during the building process. I got really sick of building this dome. This, as I say, is a condensed version of 2 hours of work. So this dome all by itself was 2 hours. And it was painful to say the least. You've got to enjoy what you're doing. If you do decide to go forward and try and make some kind of dome or sphere, you have to be sure that you want to really do it, and you have to be sure you want to put the hours in. One of the big reasons why I was happy with the idea of building this dome was because I know for a fact that I can now copy and paste this dome around the map in different areas. So all I'd need to do is use my structure blocks and just flip it over on the y-axis, and then place another one on top of that, and I will have 2 domes which click together really nicely. At least that would be the hope and plan. Whether or not that actually would occur is a different story, but I can only try. But that's one of the other nice things about this kind of Minecraft, is I can also change the colorations. So this large sphere can now become anything I want it to be. It could become a droid control ship. It could be becoming part of a different building. It could be copied, pasted, and then cut in half and changed into some sort of other design. It could even become things such as a satellite dish or something like that, just purely because it's such a specific satellite-y shape. That one would probably take a lot more work, but the general shape's already there, which would be a lot easier to deal with rather than trying to have to make it without having this basis to work with. As you can see here in the actual footage, just quickly whilst we're here, I made a mistake with my dome, so I forgot to place a single block, and that single block confused me for a solid 2 or 3 minutes because it obviously was just on one side when I first built it, and the concern there was that I'd messed up an entire half of the dome. Thankfully I hadn't, thankfully I'd just misplaced a few blocks, but it was close enough to be a concern. And as I say, this was another thing I keep finding with this version of Minecraft, is the controls are not tight enough for the Xbox version of this game. I'm sure that on PC it is a fantastically tight game because you've got a mouse and a keyboard, and the control is based upon how much you want the mouse to move. The problem is the sensitivity can't change easily with the Xbox. If you make it too sensitive, it doesn't increase the movability of the game, it just makes it move quicker. And so instead of making it so that it feels like I'm controlling it more, I just feel more out of control whilst I'm using the controller, and even less able to follow what I want to do with the build. As you can see here, the dome is starting to come in, and it's starting to look a bit more domey from the sides and top. This is one of the nice things I had with this part, was actually nearly being done. It started really clicking nicely, so all the blocks were connected, everything was just a bit tighter and everything was just a bit nicer to deal with. So as you can see here, it just all is now touching, and I think I started getting very excited and happy about the fact that I was nearly done with the build. I must have been getting very excited because I'm jiggling all over the place. Or frustrated, one of the two. And then I think this was one of the last 2 or 3 layers. It was the second to last layer, funny enough. So as you can see, it all comes together nicely. And yeah, in this video, that's how you build a dome. The music links will be in the description, and so will, as a reminder, the link I used to build the dome. And this is the finished build. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the future.